The House Freedom Caucus just sent a letter to the Speaker as the potential government shutdown approaches. They'll never shut the government shutdown. They'll never let the government shut down because it's just, they make too much money. They just wash too much money. But some of the things on this letter mention things like defunding the ATF's pistol brace rule and unconstitutional expanded background checks and more. And it's a pretty cool letter. Wanted to bring it to your attention. Here it is. Dear Speaker Johnson, the House Republican Conference's significant work on appropriations for fiscal year 2024 resulted in 10 of 12 bills passed out of committee and 7 bills sent to the Senate, with hundreds of amendments considered and adopted. This has not happened in many years. While far from perfect, the bills spent at or below the actual text of the Fiscal Responsibility Act offered a meaningful step towards restoring regular order and presented an opportunity to reduce spending and reverse many of President Biden's harmful policies. With the expiration of government funding rapidly approaching, negotiations continue behind closed doors, and as a result, we anticipate text for likely omnibus legislation that we fear will be released at the latest moment before being rushed to the floor for a vote. House Republicans should not be left in the dark on the status of the spending levels and hard-fought policy provisions. We request an update on the appropriations negotiations, including but not limited to the provisions supported by overwhelming majorities of Republicans and our constituents, such as language 2, prohibit funding for the use of CBP-1 or similar applications that facilitate the parole of millions of illegal aliens into the United States. Reducing Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas' salary to $0. Defund the Pentagon's illegal abortion travel fund. Prohibit funding for the implementation of gun registries and red flag laws. Defund ATF rules such as the pistol brace ban and unconstitutional expansion of background checks. Defund gender transition surgeries or gender-affirming care paid by taxpayer dollars. Block Biden's attempts to dismantle, demolish, remove, or damage existing border walls. Defund Biden's radical Green New Deal climate change actions such as the EPA electric vehicle mandate, DOT's CAFE standards, EPA's anti-power plant rules, and President's radical climate executive orders. Prohibit funding for radical diversity, equity, inclusion, or DEI executive orders, and the bureaucratic offices responsible for promoting DEI and critical race theory training and policies. Defund Dr. Anthony Fauci's gain-of-function research. Prohibit rules requiring biological boys to be allowed to compete against girls in women's sports, and prohibit federal funding for schools that allow biological men to participate in women-only sports. Defund anti-American international organizations such as the World Health Organization, United Nations Population Fund, United Nations Human Rights Council, and World Economic Forum. Eliminate funding to the anti-Israel United Nations Relief and Works Agency that funds Hamas and the enemies of Israel. Prohibit purchases of American farmland by our adversaries like China. Prohibit funding for Biden's student loan bailout schemes. Prohibit the Justice Department from censoring lawful speech or conducting politically sensitive investigations until the agency establishes policies requiring nonpartisan staff to oversee such investigations. Defund policies and memorandums limiting ICE and CBP enforcement while expanding illegal immigration. Prevent billions of dollars from being used to construct a new, massive Pentagon-sized headquarters for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Halt Biden's absurd and destructive bans on gas stoves and other appliances. Defund Planned Parenthood to prevent the use of taxpayer dollars on abortions, and prohibit funding for COVID-19 vaccine and mask mandates across the government, among other things. Many of these important policies and more were critical in securing the passage of bills in both the Appropriations Committee and in the House last year. There are many other policies and personnel that Congress should not be funding, and a failure to eliminate them will reduce the probability that the appropriations bills will be supported by even a majority of Republicans. In fact, the last continuing resolution passed with 107 Republicans supporting it and 106 Republicans opposing it. If we are not going to secure significant policy changes or even keep spending below the caps adopted by bipartisan majorities less than 1 year ago, why would we proceed when we could instead pass a year-long funding resolution that would save Americans $100 billion in year one? Respectfully, and you can pause here to see all of the Republicans in the Freedom Caucus that signed their name to this letter. Now, there's a lot of cool things in there that are like pipe dreams, I think. Defunding the ATF would be number one up there. Defunding the ATF's pistol brace rule, the expanded universal background checks, red flag laws, and the like. But I'm starting to get really, just like you all, I'm getting really, really angry about all these letters or all these committee hearings that basically threaten to do a whole bunch of stuff, and then after Americans' 24-hour news cycle rolls on, there's nothing but crickets. What do you think about this one? Do you think anything will happen? Do you think the new Speaker of the House will let any of these policies continue? Will they remain in the pipeline? Will the Senate even take them up? Those are all things that we want to know, but a lot of this is hoopla going into the election as well. Guys and gals, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I also wanted to bring your attention to a huge announcement. Gun owners of America, they are having a huge event in August here in Tennessee, up the road in Knoxville. I'll have a link down below where you can learn more about it. 2-day event. It's going to be awesome. Some of the names that will be there are mind-blowing. So stay in the know by subscribing to my channel right down there in that corner. Red button, hit it. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Turn the bell notification on to all notifications. Like the video and share it so more people see it. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. Oh yeah, one more quick announcement. Saturday, I will be in Florida for the 2A Freedom Fest just outside of Ocala. And I'll also have a link down below so you can learn about that as well. Bring some canned goods and you'll get some extra tickets for raffles and stuff. Going to be a good time. Links are down below for both of those. And hope to see you there. Take care.